Audio test. Alright, good. How do we... Oh, good. Got an echo. How do we start the day? What do we put out into the world this time? Worries. No, maybe not. Let's not get too deep into that. COVID spike, roommate situations, new job. Something like that. All right. For the sake of the VOD viewers, we'll get going. Toast is nice. Let's see what the world has to throw at us today. Let's see. I have secrets that I tell my friends who tell me theirs. I can't tell anyone. I've seen how people with the same secret are treated. I have secrets that I tell my friends who tell me theirs. I can't tell anyone. I've seen how people with the same secret are treated. Sexuality issues, maybe? Let's see. Raise that up a little. V. I'm guessing this might be a secret related to sexual or gender identity. Your reservations are well warranted, even though society has progressed In some places, it's still a little early to be safely open. That said, it doesn't mean you have to keep it to yourself forever. Find a place where you can be, get that cursor out of the way, where you can be open with yourself. And hopefully you'll get a sense of belonging soon. Good luck. Try not to let it bother you until then. Something like that. A little vague, but if you can't tell people anonymously on the internet, there's not much to work with here. It's normal to feel broken, even if I broke with my girlfriend more than a... Is it normal? Jesus, people and the grammar, come on. Is it normal to feel broken, even if I broke up with my girlfriend more than a year ago? What am I doing wrong? It's maybe that fear of lose her at pound of don't even remember her? ESL again, maybe. Is it normal to feel broken? Let's see. Yeah. I don't think it's unusual to feel that way. Lots of people struggle with past relationships in which they don't receive closure. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong, but it could be a side effect of hyper focusing on that particular incident. Maybe it's a fear of losing her to the point where I don't remember her. Sounds like then he didn't want to be broken up with. In which case, one-way breakups? Regardless, you still have to live your life. Only by living can you find other things to focus your mind on, and hopefully move past this. Good luck. Do your best. One-way breakups. We'll send them the sad bad. Some of us get dipped in flat, some in satin, some in gloss, but every once in a while you find someone who's iridescent. Oh god. Really? That's not an issue. That is an airplane. Mid-20s, effed up my life plus finances the past 2 years. Accepted a 1-year scholarship for continuing my master's, but effed up due to depression. Accepted some work to build up confidence again. Now I'm behind pushing through. How do I trust myself? Let's see. Personal, educational, career failure, or self-perceived career failure. Not too unusual a feeling, especially for those who go to college but don't end up working in what they studied for. So they feel like the last 4 years have been a waste. They don't trust their ability to function in regular society. That said, let's see, B. I don't think it's a matter of trusting yourself. At the end of the day, we all do what we need to do to survive. Regardless of whether we think we'll succeed or not. If you fail at one thing, you just have to pick up another. And if you fail at that, try another thing. A lot of us fail in early adulthood, thinking that we're supposed to stay on track. Stay on the track we started. I think you'll find that those successes aren't as common as you think. Don't sweat it. Just try to get by on what you're doing now. Career confidence. It is a tricky thing. I don't think anyone ever stops feeling that uncertainty, especially if you hit a failure early on in the road. It takes a while for you to think that, like, I'll be fine. Let's see. I started taking antidepressants, but I think my body became accustomed to it because I had an emotional explosion last night. Got a lot more upset by an email than I should have. My mom hates when I get this way. She said she couldn't handle me. Sounds young. Still lives with their parents. Let's see. Antidepressants are a tricky thing since they mitigate and not completely eliminate emotional extremes. Part of what makes it tricky to tell if it's working is that if you're living a fairly uneventful life, you wouldn't know. I still live with my mom right here. Bodies your paychecks. Hey Sora, welcome back. You know, that's good on you, man. Like, if you live with your mom, you're paying rent. And that's, as an adult especially. Somehow I get the feeling it's probably still cheaper than living off on your own. Which is a little unfortunate when you think about what that must mean for the renters market. But yeah, I get the feeling, especially with emotional outbursts like that, it could just be a young person who doesn't know how to handle themselves. But to push it to the point where even the mom is like, I can't deal with this. I don't know if that's necessarily toxic, but it depends on the outburst, really. keep up with your psychiatrist. These things require regular adjustments, but also make sure to discuss and rationalize this with a therapist as well. All the antidepressants won't help if you don't work towards resolving the source problems. Good luck. Yeah, living with your parents, huh? It's funny because I think most people in their early 20s kind of look at that like a thing to be sort of embarrassed by, right? I don't know. I've been thinking lately, like, you know, if my parents needed to sort of slow down or like settle down somewhere, because they don't have a lot saved up, I was thinking, like, would it be so horrible to just have them live with me? You want to get away from your parents in your early 20s, but when you hit your late 30s and 40s, you suddenly want them back. It's a funny thing. Ugh, no reverse Uno cards. The forum is already there to send your problems. Don't just ask people to send you problems. Or to send you things. I don't know. I don't think it would be horrible to want them back in your home. No, it's not. It's just it's sort of funny how that mentality changes, right? Like, I think back in the early 20s, the thought of it was mortifying. You couldn't even date anyone. Girls would be like, ew, you live with your parents? And there was that whole stigma about it. I don't know, as older adults, I guess it's not as ridiculous anymore. I don't know, maybe we're at that point where, like, we're valuing our family more. Let's see. Hey guys, I'm from China. Can you tell me something interesting about you or your country? Welcome, you have the opportunity to visit. See, now we're getting the positive people from other countries too. Any advice on how to stop procrastinating and start getting things done? I had managed to deal with it, but I had an emotional slip, and now I find it very difficult to complete my tasks. Tell them the glory of our gas prices. Yeah, oh man. Do you love paying $60 to fill up your tank every week? Nah. He wants to find out about the US, he can read the news. How to stop a person from procrastinating. Now this is interesting because there's an implied message in all of this, right? Like they were doing fine, but they had an emotional slip, which seems to suggest the way you word it seems to suggest that your procrastination is related to your emotional state. Do you find that you procrastinate as a result of depression or other types of emotional noise? Could be worth speaking to a therapist about, especially if it's getting in the way of your day-to-day functions. You know, you could tell a procrastinator to organize, but they'll even procrastinate that, so it's a little tricky. I do know a guy who has ADD, so like that's kind of expected behavior in a lot of ways. I kind of have the opposite problem where kind of suffer from a lot of anxiety, like shit tons of to-do anxiety. And so I can't stop thinking about it until I do it, which is why I do it. Because otherwise that's just pain. Especially if it's getting in the way of your day-to-day functions. I find it very difficult to complete my tasks. Unfortunately, I have the opposite problem where I get anxiety from not having things done. Wouldn't recommend developing that personality trait. Something like that. Send a robot. Alright. One of my best friends wanted help out of an abusive relationship. Like the frog sticker. I'll send that out next. I love how frogs have become sort of the iconic mascot of Twitch. Gave him advice that he asked for. She gaslit him, and we haven't talked in 3 months. They've never met, said I love you, and neither have jobs. Hope it was... Ooh. Hey, Pilgrim. Welcome back. Missed the Persona stream. It's okay. We'll bounce back on those. It's tough because I feel like I'm the only one playing Persona. So it's like, I would love to put a lobby together, but just no one's investing until rollback netcode becomes a thing. So TBD on all that. You've been messing around with it? On PC, I hope. But it's been fun. I mean, one person who owns it missed the stream and messed up. It's cool, it's cool. We'll try again, probably the next weekend. But, I mean, it's still good, right? You still get random matches. There's still, like, a relatively healthy player base, so I'm happy with the way things are. There are lots of people planning to come back. They just want that netcode. I convinced Sad Happy Mad to buy it, so we may have one. So this is an interesting situation, right? We got the reverse. Usually I feel like women tend to be the victims in an abusive relationship. That might just be sexist of me, but I think social conditioning has made it a lot easier for the male counterparts to be the oppressors. They're not upset about the abusive relationship. They're upset that their friend took the abuser's side and didn't talk to them. Now it's interesting because this is more of a bitter issue than anything, right? This person isn't looking for help, they're upset. Let's see. T. Venting. Let's see. T. I get where you're coming from, and it's a tough break. I've had friends who've gone back to abusive relationships no matter how much I tried to logic out how horrible an idea it was. Sometimes we can't do anything more about it and those friends let us down. The best we can hope for is that they'll realize the mistake and come back. At which point, it's up to you whether you want to, whether you'll accept them then. I know it feels like a betrayal now, but sometimes people just can't rationalize things when they're in the thick of it. It's a tough thing because, yeah, I've dealt with my share, and it's a funny thing, right? Because some people tend to operate on a very emotional level, like emotions will override all the logic and reasoning in the world. And part of it, I mean, I blame a big part of it to social programming, right? We all think we're all supposed to fall in love or whatever, or that love takes hard work. And so we come up with reasons to kind of convince ourselves to commit to bad ideas. Having it turned against you as the friend is the tough one, right? Because in my case, I actually said, okay, I'm not talking to you until you get your head right. So it was a little different. I didn't deal with that sort of betrayal the same way this person does. I cut it off. But I did accept the person back when they came around. So, I don't know. Hopefully this person has enough forgiveness to consider that as well, but that assumes the friend in question does come back, right? Abusive relationships, man. Let's see. I have a formal event to go to, and I really want to style my hair. However, I have layered, very fine, and not a lot of hair. I don't like my hair up because my head is big. Curling is a nice option, but they can't stay curled long, and my hair tends to not look natural. Fashion advice, that's a new one. You know, I'm not going to claim to be a fashion expert, and I won't have a lot to say on it. Stylist? No way, man. I went bald during the pandemic. I looked like One Punch Man. It was horrible. Try hair extensions. If you get a colored wig, that could wow folks. That could wow people as an alternative look. That's all the advice I have. Use prosthesis. We'll give him a fro. Honestly, I don't think it's a bad take. Like, I think if you could normalize wigs, because people dye their hair, right? They do all kinds of crazy shit with their hair. Why not just wear a wig if you want to look like striking or unusual? Goku wig for prom. I dig it. Super Saiyan girlfriend. Okay. How to forgive your past and move on. P. Sounds like an issue of self-compassion here. Forgiveness Forgiveness can only really be asked for if it comes with a promise of not doing certain wrongs again. Exactly, Pilgrim. I was going to say, forgiveness is an interesting concept because we're taught to almost give it indiscriminately, but not to really think about what it means to forgive. And on that same point, to ask for forgiveness. Lots of people just ask for forgiveness because they feel bad that someone else is mad at them, but they don't offer the forgiveness with a promise. And I've always kind of pointed this out to people. They're like, will you forgive me? I say no. And they're like, what? Because some people don't take it past that thought, right? So let's help them rationalize their own forgiveness. Let's see, forgiveness can only really be asked for if it comes with a promise of not doing a certain wrong again. As such, I think you'll find yourself able to forgive if you can feel confident that you won't make the same mistakes that you feel guilty about. It won't happen fast, and I think a little guilt is healthy for any ethically sound person. I think you just need to seriously consider what it means to not be that person anymore. Good luck. I hope you find closure for yourself. Oh, I feel like that's a very common theme of the last few years, right? Like cancel culture has become like a huge thing. And lots of people kind of overcompensate in their response to being canceled. The thing is, I feel like a lot of those people would have came out of it rather clean if they just owned up to the mistake and was like, that was something I did a long time ago. I was horrible back then. I would like to think I'm not the same person. And I've tried to live by that example. But people don't say that, and that's why their cancellations keep coming. Because they double down on that shit. Mistakes are crystallized on the internet, it's true. And so when you make more in response to them, I'm just like, oh, Jesus. Oh, speak of the devil. Does anyone else not like cancel culture? For some cases, I think it's understandable, but for others, it's wild. Sometimes I voice my opinions online and I'm scared that I'll get canceled for it. It feels like discussions just can't happen online because they will go wrong. I believe this is the collective subconsciousness speaking, right? Let's see, T. Totally get that fear. I had a lot of it a few years ago when the whole concept was running wild. Many people on the internet do not desire to listen. No, it's true. I think people will hate for hating's sake because, I mean, it's been a thing since forever, right? Mob justice, pitchforks and torches, drowning the witch. People get behind that shit because they get hard-ons for punishing. They love vengeance. Let's see. Totally get that fear. I had a lot of it a few years ago when the whole concept was running wild. I think what people forget is that we need to live in a society that encourages reform and redemption. Otherwise, they might as well just go out murdering people for making a mistake. Righteous good. There's a speculation that the people who go like full on cancel culture are the ones who have like nasty histories, and they're just like super hard trying to overcompensate by being like, I'm not a bad guy, look at me, I punish other bad guys. So yeah, in a lot of ways it's projection. I think what people forget is we need to live in a society that encourages reform and redemption. Honestly, I think the best thing we can do is voice opinions, and if it looks like we're wrong, openly acknowledge and adjust for it. I think a big problem for the cancel is that they double down and don't acknowledge when they do something bad. Something like that. It's a good thing I just rehearsed that before we got this question. Put the devil in to symbolize cancellation. The midterm exam will be coming soon. Although my history and geography are grade A in grade, I'm afraid that my poor test will affect my class performance and make me unable to enter the best. You know, I know this game is called Kind Words, right? But like, I don't think you can talk about trying to be a top performer when you can't be bothered to spell check or grammar check your sentences. Am I being unnecessarily harsh here? It's just, there's a certain irony to this situation I just can't get around. I think if you're concerned about being a top performer, you might want to consider adopting that personal philosophy into all things, like spelling and grammar. It's good to be it's good to be good at specific subjects. But if you condition yourself to only be good at what you think you need, then that's just bad balance. That's just bad work ethic and balance. Food for thought. A little harsh, I know. We can call this game harsh words sometimes, but I mean, come on, you can't talk about academics and then spell all your shit wrong. It's a little ridiculous. Alright, what we got? What we got next? Oh yeah, watch me. Ah. See, this is the thing, Pilgrim. I feel like Twitch chat generally has better communication skills. Like, I know you only type in one sentence at a time, but at least each sentence makes sense and is generally not poorly spelled. Generally, I say, because streamer lingo is a little different. I would expect anyone trying to be a serious student to at least do better than Twitch chat. Alright, what we got? There's a person I know in real life who makes me uncomfortable. They randomly sent me a message on Instagram saying if I ever betrayed their trust, they would hurt me. Obviously, I want to find ways to distance myself from them, but don't know how. A person I know in real life who makes me uncomfortable. Who writes that on Instagram? What? Like an Instagram? You just randomly just say that shit? Betray their trust. What the hell does that mean? It's almost like they witnessed them doing a crime. Hey, I'm not going to lie. That sounds like a threat. Take a picture of that message and either bring that up to your parents or maybe even get the authorities involved. I try to at least spell correct properly, but capitalization and punctuation generally be gone. No, I mean that's fair. There's a separate set of rules when it comes to text chat. But like, you know, if you're gonna write a paragraph, you gotta at least put some effort into those, because you gotta separate multiple statements. I don't think it's that unreasonable. Betrayed their trust. Randomly sent. Find distance away. Any tips? Still never understood adding people you know in real life online. I mean, they may not have, right? They might have just made their Instagram public, as young people will do. And then, you know, someone they know just started getting really creepy. Distance themselves, but don't know how. Not gonna lie, sounds like a threat. Take a picture. Either bring that up to your parents or maybe get the authorities involved. Threat of harm is very serious. And it should never be given the benefit of the doubt. Especially when it's someone you're not really friends with. I know the concept is a little intimidating and you're afraid of what'll happen if you overreact. Hey, Kit Kat, welcome back. I'm trying to help this poor person deal with a threat I'm assuming she, could be he, they received online. Which is like, It's a tricky thing too, because I don't think cops really take internet threats very seriously. How's your favorite moon person talking? Or talking moon doing? I'm doing okay. Getting back to basics. It's been a tiring, long week. I had a roommate move in yesterday, so that was fun. Lots of furniture assembly and lifting stuff. Let's see. Concept is a little intimidating. Oddly enough, she does follow the VODs of the stream and does listen occasionally. Roommate arc. I've always had roommates while I've been streaming Pilgrim. As to whether they're good people or not, I got roommate stories. But we'll save that for when it's relevant. Resting the week to this. Oh, it's back to work tomorrow. Yeah. I hope we're all enjoying this fine Easter Sunday. I actually wanted to do a bunch of stuff, but couldn't because everything was closed. It's all Jesus' fault. Apologize if you're religious. I'm a godless heathen. But that is seriously not okay. Please make sure others know. Yeah, that's... Who the hell writes that kind of message to a person? If you ever betray your trust, why would you trust a person? Divine judgment. It always happens, right? Whenever you got religious people talking with atheists, the atheists are always like, if God's real, let him strike me with lightning right now, as they try to force invoke a miracle upon them. I was once religious too, so don't get me wrong. I understand the feeling, but... Alright, what do we got here? Oh my god. I stopped caring about anything. I saw some of my friends this morning after going to school after a while. I threw them a look, but they didn't look at me, not a simple hi. Past me would be crying about it, but I do not care. Pilgrim, I don't know if judgment without the first E is valid. That seems a little questionable to me. I think spell checker flags you. You know, I've always wondered the concept of religion and what it actually brings to people. Kit Kat, it's about community for the most part. It's mostly about people gathering together because they want that sense of belonging. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand the concept. Religion has some of its uses because the idea is if you belong to a community, that means the community holds you accountable. And it's a good way to kind of reinforce yourself, but also feel accepted. You know, no matter what your struggles are. The idea behind religion is that, you know, forgiveness is a big part of it. And so I understand the motivation to kind of seek it out or stay with it. But I've always been kind of a nonconformist at heart. And depending on the religious institution you participate in, they might be a little more or less demanding from you. My institution in particular was very demanding. And at the end of the day, I felt that they weren't justified. And so I parted ways. lot of times for me, or at least what I know, is in a world where you don't know how things work, it gives a purpose and even a meaning to things. I mean, certainly there's that too. I think a lot of people struggle with an existential crisis like that, where they're like, what's the point of functioning? And people don't, people get a little too deep for their own good. They think everything has to have a purpose. Nothing has to have a purpose. We exist because we exist. We don't need to serve something to exist. Some people argue about the whole moral compass thing too. Like, I've been speculated to be religious because I have such strong morals. But I like to think that you could be a relatively universally decent person, regardless of whether you're religious or not. Hey, Ptolemy, welcome back. How's it going? You did the random Hulk table flip. I gotta update the emotes, find something new to do, but fire wheel would be a good one, actually. So this one's a little interesting, right? It almost seems like this person is angry, and they're like, I don't care. It doesn't bother me, I'm just writing about it. Let's see. Also, the oh my god is a little off. I get the feeling they're the brooding sort. And so it's kind of like the reason why their friends didn't go out of their way to say hi was because all he was doing was mad dogging them, expecting them to reach out to him first. I could give him the benefit of the doubt, but because I've also sort of been there at one point in my life, I make this kind of speculation out of personal experience. Because there are times, especially as a young adult, teenager, that you want to sort of test your relationships. You want to test and see if your friends will notice you. And sometimes that means being less forward about your interactions. You're like, if I just stopped saying hi, would they stop saying hi back? And the joke of it is yes, because that's what normal people do. If you're not friendly to a person, or if you don't say hi to them, they're not going to say hi back to you because they're going to think you're pissed and they're going to avoid you. This is totally normal behavior. And so I've talked about this before, the silent treatment, right? The silent treatment never works in the way people intend to. Because it's freaking psychopathic. But yeah, I say this as someone who's been there at one point in my life, so I don't mean to throw stones. It's just funny, relatable, and with the hindsight of a million years of experience, it's a funny thing. I'm going to go out on a limb here and guess that you might have been questioning the strength of your relationships for a while. I've been there before and have often downplayed my interactions to see if I would get any response. The truth of the matter is that you'll get exactly what you expect. Because if you act weird or angry or out of place, Most people, even friends, will assume you're in a bad mood and steer clear. Harsh words stream today, folks. I'm slightly curious what they meant by going to school after a while. Right, maybe they're sick, or I don't know, maybe they got suspended. This guy seems like he might be a bit of an edgelord, or trying to be a bit of an edgelord. If you said hi and they didn't respond to that, I'd say that's messed. But looks aren't really, but giving looks aren't anything. Yeah, a bit dramatic. I know a guy like this too. He would mad dog people just because he wanted to like feel edgy. It was the weirdest thing because he was like this wannabe edgelord punk rocker type dude. He would spike his hair, he would wear a black leather jacket all the fucking time. Wear all black. But he'd do dumb shit, like when he runs, he'd run like, okay, as we colloquially know as the Naruto run, it was originally the Dragon Ball run. And so he would run like that shit during PE. But it's like, yeah, it's the strangest thing. He'd play guitar and just play angry guy rock music. But he'd also insert himself into conversations in a way to like make it so if you were complaining about something, he'd somehow try to redirect it to make it about himself. And I'm like, geez, come on, man. I know emo's a phase, but you don't have to be like annoying or dumb about it. So, I don't know, this guy, this is proof that your chat is psychic. Is it psychic? I think we just all have very similar ways of thinking about these things. The Naruto run. But yeah. Honestly, if you need to test your friends' relations and see if they'll actually talk to you, giving them mean stares isn't going to inspire that. They're like, I acted like an angry weirdo, and my friends didn't talk to me, just as I predicted. What assholes. Oh, boy. Wavelengths? Maybe. I mean, there's a reason why people follow certain people in chat, in Twitch, right? I'd like to think that maybe something I say is relatable, or at least sounds right to some of you. Ah, now here's an interesting turn. Weird confession. I've never been able to climax during sex. I'm a guy. I'm afraid to get intimate with girls now because this has really put some of them off. It has ruined some relationships I want to work out. I just don't feel comfortable having sex because it will ruin me. Whoa. What an interesting reversal. So here's the thing, right? The stereotype is that the girls don't climax during sex. But the irony of that situation is the guy doesn't give a shit. Right? Like, it won't ruin the relationship for a guy if their girlfriend doesn't climax. But weirdly, we're having the opposite effect here. Performance anxiety, perhaps? I wonder. Because I would just assume it doesn't matter to either party, right? Finish things up for one side. Finish it up for yourself later if you need to. It doesn't have to happen at the same time. Ah! That's the take. Let's see. Okay. If you're concerned about okay. It's funny that you explain things this way because I feel like the opposite tends to happen a lot and the guys generally aren't bothered. That said, if you're concerned about how the girl feels, it's not exactly mandatory that you both climax. You can always finish for her. How do I phrase this? How do I phrase this in a way that isn't TOS? I just had a thought about that and I was like, wait a second. I don't think I can go into detail on these types of things. Yeah, no, I mean, that's a thing, Pilgrim. I think in any situations dealing with sex, being like, hey, before we do this thing, I just want you to know I have problems with it. No, I mean, what I'm suggesting here is, you know, girls often do it one way, right? Hand jobs, blow jobs, whatever, right? They finish for their man. There's no reason the man can't finish for their woman. Let's see. If you're willing to... How do we phrase this, though? That's the catch. How do we phrase this in an appropriate way? If you're willing to finish for your woman, even if you're not receiving yourself, I think that speaks a lot to... I don't know. I think if you're willing to do that, you're a solid... You're a broski, right? Like, a real one will finish... A real one will finish their partner, even if they themselves can't finish. a bit of a tricky thing to express openly, but I think it's an accurate take, right? Like, it's not unreasonable. Women basically one-way masturbate their boyfriends all the time. And for that exact reason as well. To your commitment. Women do that for guys all the time for the same reason you're describing. So just switch it around. Also, sex shops have seminars for these types of things. Also, some sex shops, I should say. So, I don't think it's it is a funny situation, right? Because especially as a younger male, I don't think it occurs to you the dynamic of it, right? Because if a guy can't climax first, or if a guy can't climax, that's almost like, oh, well, why should I have sex in the first place? And you're depriving your partner of sex. Meanwhile, women will do this for their guys. And it was the weirdest thing. I once asked a friend of mine, because she does blowjobs, and she's like, she loves doing it because she loves doing good things for her man. And I was like, wow, that's a really altruistic take. And it never occurred to me, this idea, because it always struck me as selfish, right? It always struck me as like selfish that a guy could, you know, have their girlfriend suck him off, because they don't really gain anything from it. But when you look at it from the perspective of giving, right? It's actually not, it's not a horrible thing, as society might have raised us to feel like. So I think this guy's problem is actually relatively, oh God, the temptation. Oh, the implications of these stickers. If you're listening to the VOD, I recommend you look, because that just makes this funnier. And that's enough teenage humor for me. Let's see. How about let's us talk about dream. My dream is to become a foreign trade salesman, and I try to achieve it for now. How about you? That is not an issue. I am an undergraduate in JLU, Justice League Unlimited. I have been in the dorm for about 40 days due to COVID. Holy shit. What I will do is just do what I did. I don't know what I should do and how to pick me up. Now I'm depressed and I really want to walk around outside instead of in the dorm. What is my dream then? My dream is to retire at a reasonable age where I'm not like past my warranty expiration date. It's a little boring, I know, but these are the kind of things you think about when you reach a certain age. It honestly bothers me, the idea that I might just work until the day I die. What could be my dream? It would be nice to actually become one of those geriatrics that stream on Twitch, though. Yeah, Pilgrim, I feel like this question's a little out of order, but basically it seems like they've just never left their dorms, and they're like depressed as hell in college. COVID-19. It's funny how many people are in the middle of education who write like this. 40 days. 40 days is a very specific time frame, so it's not like he's been quarantining for like years, right? This is a recent thing. "40 days due to COVID." Let's see. Are you still quarantining? That seems like a weird span of time to be trapped in your building. If you're vaccinated, you should be able to just leave and go out. But obviously with the right precautions. If you're finding that your mood is taking a hit, your school should have mental health resources to work with. I know it's something that doesn't cross your mind immediately, but if it's really getting to you, there's no harm in trying, even as a video session. There's a lot of chat services, even therapy-based ones, if you just want to talk to someone. 7 cups of tea? I've never actually heard of this before. Yeah, I was gonna say, Pilgrim, this seems unusual. Like, why specifically 40 days? Like, unless literally the building's under lockdown, right? It's got like the white tarp over it, no one's allowed in or out. Soldiers with guns pointed at the entrances. Let's see, I'm gonna look this website up that KitKat mentioned. I'm very curious. Let's see, if I bring this up, we're a web browsing stream now, folks. Our counselors and listeners, free emotional support, grow at your own pace, volunteers, confidential online therapy with license. Oh, that's interesting. With nobody to turn to but being heard, that's why 7 Cups is born, thousands of volunteers. This is actually kind of interesting. I wonder what you have to do as a volunteer, because I could actually get into something like this, but I don't know if this is like something anybody can do. Volunteer as a listener? You provide free online training and support. Huh. Very curious. I'll think about that. Thanks for watch a cute video. I gotta be careful about the videos, KitKat. I don't think I can just DMCA is a scary thing on Twitch these days. But yeah, no, that's an interesting resource. I'll have to look into that later. Especially because that's practically what I do on these streams. I'm very curious. Although maybe I might be a little too harsh to be a volunteer. Yeah, Pilgrim. JLU? I've never... Jersey Law... I have no idea what that could be. Let's see. Advanced mathematics is too difficult. The teacher couldn't understand. I was going to watch videos myself, but it took too long though. The teacher doesn't understand the material they're teaching? I don't know that this is really a thing to respond to. I was going to watch videos myself, but it took too long. Yeah, a little vague. A little vague. We'll pass that one. I feel alone. I want someone to be around. I feel desperate. I've started creating scenarios. They've started having a certain person I know in them, and I know it hurts me, knowing that I don't even know them that well, but I can't stop. Oh, you'll find someone, give it time, it doesn't. Ah! Indian University. Like at a reservation? Curious. See, the only thing I can think of is maybe that person wasn't vaccinated. Oh, actual India. Oh my god. Pilgrim. I might just have gotten myself canceled on the internet. Shit. Not Native American. Not First Nations. Actual Indian. Shit. Lemon Thunder. Hey, welcome back. You made it just in time for me to cancel myself. India. That actually could make sense, Pilgrim. If it's another country, and especially because COVID's spiking pretty hard, I wouldn't be surprised if it was another nation. Alright, so this request was a long lead up, but at the end of the day it looks like they're just single. Now here's the thing. They've started creating scenarios. They start daydreaming about a specific crush, which on paper is a bit of a scary thing to read. But it's also, I feel like, a very normal thing if you're a teenager. Which, you know, maybe questionably good or bad that I'm acknowledging this as a personal experience myself. But in middle school and high school, as a hopelessly awkward, socially awkward and shy person, it was really all I could do, right? You have a crush, you're afraid to talk to them. All you can think about is how you would do it if you were smooth or confident, or if you even felt good about yourself. The problem is, there isn't really a resolution for it because you know what you gotta do? You just gotta grow older. You know, if you're done being canceled, there's a 6-second cat animated cat video I found. Okay, cat, I feel like that would kind of break the rhythm I've got going, unfortunately. We have to wait till I become big enough to be a React streamer, then I'll consider it. That's a thing, especially if you're a nerdy Asian kid. Lemon Thunder, I went to a school that was mostly Asian, so sadly I can't say I was particularly unique in that regard. But yeah, it is a cliche. Especially because second generation kids, they don't grow up like normal children. So they miss out on all the common social cues and the shared language of normal American kids. Let's see. How do we help this poor lonely soul? You'll find someone eventually line is the biggest bullshit. It's a tough reality, but some people do stay alone for a long time. Some even die alone. Some even die alone. But that shouldn't be the basis for your existence. Is that a thing? I missed out on all the social cues because I watched too much anime, not because of second generation ethnic differences. Well, I mean, Lemon Thunder, I think... TLDR, give up. No, I mean, the thing is, right, like, it depends... I guess it also depends on what kind of societal state your parents left when they immigrated over. For instance, my parents were very much study, 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 work hard, don't talk back, don't question, don't develop self-confidence. Or like, develop self-confidence, but in a way that miraculously ignores how much we criticize and yell at you when you get a B. You know, things like that. And so, you know, like, it may not be a cliche that applies to people nowadays, but at least back in the 80s, it was a very common thing. And I think a lot of second generation Asians, they just kind of grew up scared. They're afraid to speak up because when they spoke up at home, they got yelled at or even hit. And so, at the least in my case, I feel like it took me a long time to become a normal human being because I had to deprogram all of that. Yeah, no, the abusive Asian parent thing is a very common issue because in Asia, there isn't really child abuse. Or at least not in the same way that we perceive it. But also, it generally isn't a problem as long as they grow up in Asia. And so that's kind of the catch, right? Like, it's only really a problem here because general society is so at odds with the way that we grow up that we're missing the shared language. Oh, Turning Red. I've heard good things about it, Kit Kat, but I haven't seen it myself. I remember hearing that, like, conservatives were, like, really mad at the movie because, I don't know, it would turn your child into a red panda or something. Something absurd like that. But that shouldn't be the basis for your existence. How do we help this person? You know, it hurts me knowing that I don't even know them that well, but I can't stop. But that shouldn't be the basis of your existence. I get the feeling hormones are playing a big role in this situation, right? Like, it's unfortunate, but when you go through puberty, you're just horny as fuck. And you just, you know, but that sounds horrible, so you cloak it in terms like having a crush and liking girls. You definitely should. Pretty good movie about Asian girls growing up in Canada. The Canadian experience. I've always been curious about that one. I don't know, it's on the watch list. Eventually I'll get to it. These days I don't really watch very many movies or shows. Some even die alone, but that shouldn't be the basis for your existence. At a certain point, you have to figure out whether this is all hormones or just straight up loneliness. If you're... Actually, I don't know if that last one's helpful. And it's rather presumptuous. Oh, hurts me knowing that I don't know them that well, but I can't stop. I think comparative anxiety is a thing we all struggle with. We think we should have relationships or be in something now because others are successfully in them. Honestly, I think it's healthier to be content with yourself, but consider relationships as sort of a life bonus. Haven't seen a Pixar movie since Toy Story 3. Damn. Hypothalamus, that's a strong one to end on. When they're all rolling towards that furnace and holding hands. Yeah, Kit Kat, I don't know if I don't think this person's exactly lonely. Like, they have friends. They have people telling them, oh, you'll get there eventually. I think they're really just pining for a relationship. And part of me, the instinctive part of me is like, this kid's just horny. Listen, kid, just work out. Chicks dig a guy that looks like they could break their spine with 2 fingers. Lemon Thunder. I don't know about that last bit, though. If you're a girl, the same rules totally apply in reverse. I'm gonna let you guys in on a bit of a parasocial secret, but like, my preference is towards tall, buff girls. And I always have to explain this to other women because they think it's like weird. It's weird for a woman to have muscles, and I'm like, why are you all crazy? You think the world just wants squishy girls to like poke you in the arm and just have it sink in like a Tempur-Pedic pillow? Like, what's wrong with you people? We don't all go for noodle arms. Even if you're skinny, the squishy girl is a term I call upon quite a bit. Woodworking group. Honestly, I think they just need to not fixate on it. Nothing wrong with a girl that's got abs. Yeah, man. Buff chicks are hot. I think they get a bad rap because anytime a buff chick is portrayed in any sort of media, they're like fucking bodybuilder buff. And I'm like, no. Women don't normally get like that when they work out. If you've ever seen Edge of Tomorrow, I forgot what the lead female's name was, but like, she was buff as shit, and I was like, that's awesome. She looks great. All right. Lonely person. Girl doll. Sometimes I feel so anxious about my future at night that I can't fall asleep until late night. There's no point for the ellipses. This isn't a dramatic statement following your initial statement. Too much ellipses. You read too much manga. Well, this has turned into a very interesting stream. Okay, Kat, I help people with their problems, but I do personally enjoy story time and explaining shit. Small arm that looks muscly. Small arm's good, but like, I think the petite fetish is a little much. I think people underestimate the value of a tall girl, right? Tall girls are hot too. And here's the thing, tall girls, that's just like more girl. So what's wrong with that? Right? Like, it's not even like they're fat. They're just taller. So there's more of them. So that's kind of my bias, but, I think we should challenge the way the world looks at aesthetics like this. Right? Would I date a taller girl than me? Totally. Easy. Easy. Tall, buff girl? Sign me up. I don't need a teacup toy dog girl or a squishy girl whose arm circumference is like consistent across the upper arm down to her wrist. We don't need that. Overrated. The real question is, though, would you let her pick you up? That would be fun. I'm secure in my masculinity. I would let a taller girl pick me up. That's fine. You'd have to do so comfortably, though, because armpitting is awkward as fuck. I don't think anyone likes being armpitted. And honestly, I don't know how girls can stand being lifted by the waist. Okay, anyways, back to helping people. I'm getting a little distracted. Oh, let's see. Sometimes feel so anxious about my future at night that I can't fall asleep until late. I think that's good because that means you're taking your life seriously. Anxiety is tough because sometimes it's like a superpower. you'll definitely get things done and not procrastinate. Unfortunately, it comes with the cost of not being able to relax. If at a certain point it gets in the way of your day-to-day life and health, see a professional and try to rationalize the causes. It's also super awkward if the person lifting you is struggling significantly. Oh my god. That's a funny thing. I remember once I had to pick up a girl and she was like, "Why are you shaking?" I was like, "God damn it." I don't do deadlifts. Me, trying to be the gentleman I am, right? Tries to lift this girl without lifting her against my chest, right? So try to leave a little space for Jesus there. But unfortunately, leverage is a very difficult thing when you try to lift another human while keeping your arms out away from you. So of course I was shaking. Come on. Yeah. The sooner you have your midlife crisis, the better. Ideally, it happens before you reach middle age. Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. Yeah, anxiety does not mean you don't procrastinate. It's true, but I think that's the thing, right? Like, you can kind of foster your anxiety to kind of be beneficial in some ways. At least that's how I feel like it's gone for me career-wise. Like, I'm considered very good at my job, but at the cost of me having so much work-related stress. Because that's the thing, right? Like, I would think about shit on the to-do, and it would just go on in my mind until I actually do it. And this happens with video games too, which is why, like, Metroidvanias are kind of pain. Because up until I do a thing, like, oh, you need to get the fucking grapple beam to get that energy tank. Oh, well, shit, I guess I'm just gonna think about that energy tank until, like, 5 days later when when I finally get the grapple beam. Like, it's a nightmare. But that's me. And it's not like I hope other people experience it the same way, but that's what I imagine happens with some people. Hey, Cake Cat, thanks for dropping by as usual. Have a good night and a good week. Seen a video that talks about how in order to do a supervillain choke and lift with one arm, it would require beyond superhuman strength. Yeah, man. You know, the movies and the cartoons, they'd have you believe that lifting someone is a relatively easy thing to do, but, you know, try to be smooth and lift up a girl and they're like, "Why are you shaking?" It's a bad look. Bad luck sometimes. Let's see. If at a certain point it gets in the way of your day-to-day life and health, see a professional and try to rationalize the causes. I know you might not think it warrants that, but trust me, there's value in a good night's sleep. By the way, I never told you, but it's always like really early in the morning for me when you stream. Oh damn, that actually explains quite a bit. I sleep thinking about that energy tank. Exodus to play the next day and find the answer. We are not the same. No, that's fair, Ptolemy. I don't know. That's kind of just the thing. Like, I obsess over shit that, like, I can't do anything about immediately. And so it really just freaking I just get obsessively fixated on stuff on my to-do list. There are other things too. It's a separate sort of anxiety. That's like a slow burn anxiety. I think the main one is like every once in a while I'll get an email from work and I'll have a visceral physical response to it. Like, not during work because that's like normal or whatever, but like I got an email at like 8 p.m. once and I was just like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm about to die right now. You gotta take care of your mental health, folks. Let's see. I'm sure my crush found someone recently and that they're spending every waking moment together. What used to be talking every day and hanging out became nothing. I know it's to be expected, but it hurts getting used to being an afterthought to them. Afterthought to them? That almost implies that they know the person. Crushes. I'm sure my crush found someone recently. So what is my vibe here? L has a crush he's been talking to. Orbiters, satellites, moons. People who orbit around their crush but never get closer to them. No, it's to be expected, but it hurts just being an afterthought. L. This might be better for you in the end. Would you be happier still talking to her, but having her talk about her relationship instead? Is that first statement something they observed or something they know? Something they assume. Yeah, I'd say it's something they assume. But the fact that she suddenly stops talking to him is an interesting thing, right? Because I don't think... He may not have an unwarranted kind of speculation on this. If the signs match up, they match up, right? And like, I don't think you need to be that obtuse about it. No gender mentioned. God damn it! Ptolemy, why you gotta cancel me on stream? You're right though, I gotta be more careful about the pronouns. It's a whole new world. I gotta be better about these type of things. Yeah, could be a girl. We have had quite a few gender stereotype swaps today. Would you be happier still talking to them, but having them talk about their relationship instead? I feel like a lot of people struggle with this latter situation. At the end of the day, though, it always sucks to lose friends to relationships. And I sympathize. What do we... Here's the thing, like... Let's see. If she's not initiating conversation with you anymore, don't wait up. You may like her now. Oh, God. Pronouns. If they're not initiating conversation with you anymore, don't wait up. You may like them now. But it's a moot point. So take it as an opportunity to move on. Good luck. And tough break. I don't know, does that sound a little, does tough break ever sound like genuine to anyone when you hear it? Like tough break, man. Does that ever seem a little insensitive or kind of dismissive? I wonder about that sometimes. Turns a phrase. Tough luck, pal. That's rough, buddy. But at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal either, right? Reading other people's chicken soup, writing down my own sorrow. Oh God, poets. I hate poets. Let's see. If someone says that to me, it's entirely up to how much I trust them personally to actually mean it. I mean, you know, it sounds a little shallow on the surface, but at the end of the day, does it sound, I don't know, passive or like dismissive? That's really what I'm kind of thinking about. If not, then we're fine. I'm just like, am I unknowingly being kind of mean to the world by using that turn of phrase? That's all I'm wondering about. Sort of how I feel about the word condolences. Yeah, no, it's a very safe and detached word for sure. You have my condolences, right? It's kind of like when you break up with someone, it's like submitting a letter of resignation and then just handshaking them. It's weirdly business transaction-y. But sometimes you need that kind of distance, right? I worry that I'm wasting my life, but there's nothing that I really want out of it. I feel like I'm lost. I don't even want to go anywhere, so how can I be lost? I get the sense that they're thinking comparatively. Let's see. There's no shame in having no direction. As long as you can sustain yourself at no cost to anyone else, then that's fine. I'm wondering if maybe you're looking at your life comparatively to others who have ambitions or specific goals. It's fine to live either way, but I don't think it's healthy to stress yourself out because you're not running on a similar leveled track as another. That said, there's nothing wrong with thinking about your future. If you're concerned about that, then talk to an older person for advice. Talk to older people, forehead. Nah, but I get the feeling it's just sort of like, I think people only think this when they talk to someone else who like seems to have their life together or are going through a major life change, right? This always happens with single people and their married friends. God, I feel so left behind. I don't even have a girlfriend. My friends all have children. I used to live like that for a bit too. I don't have the strength to just stop talking to my partner, but if I did, I wonder if they would even care. Kind of a yikes? What does that mean? Why would you want to stop talking to your partner? Why do you care if they would care? If only I was strong enough to give the silent treatment. Nobody notices when you do the silent treatment. Wow. What a weird thing to put out there. How do we even acknowledge this? Yes. Your statement is a little questionable. You want to ignore your partner, but you still care, but you want them to notice? Why? That seems a lot. Okay. We're transitioning from kind words to harsh words again. That's kind of immature behavior, to be honest. Can this be summed up as I don't think they listen to me? Yeah, but like, if so, you could just say that, right? Like, the fact that they can't stop themselves from talking to them. If they don't listen to me, like, why the fuck just not break up, you know? Like, my partner doesn't listen to me. Then, yeah. Like, this is like that question the other time about that, like, one woman who was, like, angry that her boyfriend was talking down his friend from a personal crisis while they were on a family vacation. I'm just like, there's this weird sense of, like, huge self-centeredness here. It sounds like you just want to get attention, but in a toxic way. If you want to break up, just break up. But why go through such a weird means of trying to be hurtful? Or that other person who was angry that their partner didn't agree that they weren't worth love or whatever. Yeah, no, it's fascinating. 99% sure they're not gonna hit it. They're not gonna listen to a word of this. Yeah, immature is kind of a trigger word, right? It's very... The minute anyone accuses anyone of being immature, all reasonable conversation and discourse goes out the window. I better save that for the end then. So it's the last thing they read. That way they read the whole thing and then get the singer. This game is just informing me there are supposed to lose fights in real life. I mean, it's not a bad moral to come out with, certainly. But I do think, I don't know, there's value in trying. There's value in trying to articulate and trying to rationalize a situation. And I feel like to a certain degree, right? A lot of this is more for my sake and perhaps your guys' sake as well than the actual person we're answering. Because there is time taken into this, we do think. It is inspiring us to think. A little questionable. But why go through such a weird means of trying to be hurtful? Melee legend is being born today. Jmook. Let's see. In my experience, the silent treatment never works because the intended victim never notices. Because you're being silent. Genesis 8? I'm unaware of that one. You know, I have anime in the tags, but honestly, I haven't kept up with anime since the early 2000s. I got boomer brain. I don't know what the cool kids are watching anymore. I don't have the strength to just stop talking to my partner, but if I did, I wonder if they would even care. Oh, Smash Melee tournament. Oh damn, those are still happening? I thought Nintendo was putting the kibosh on those. If you have issues, just communicate them straight forward to your partner. Otherwise, you're trying to take an immature route. Taking Lemon Thunder's advice to heart. I'm leaving the immature word to the second to last word of the letter so they read it after reading everything else. The evil one. Yeah, I'm sure there are like unofficial ones, but they gotta stay low on the radar. They can't get too much press, otherwise the big N is gonna shut them down again. Yeah. Like I said, I know this game is kind words, but sometimes you gotta be harsh. Let the door hit them in the ass on the way out. You gotta be harsh sometimes, because you gotta... Sometimes the kindest thing you can do for a person is rile them up a bit, because you can't just be nice about everything and you can't just be supportive about everything. You gotta tell them when they're being ridiculous. Alright, I'm gonna call last game. We're almost at 2 hours again. So we'll call it a night. I'm worried about not getting my grade at university. I'm just missing one signature, but it's so hard that I... What does that mean? I'm just missing one signature? It's so hard that I think I won't make it. Signature? I'll skip this one. Is it supposed to be an accept? Yeah, that's weird, right? I don't know what would require a signature. Alright, well, let's look at this next one. I desperately want everything in my life to change. I don't want to be doing this anymore. I feel trapped in a life that was never supposed to be mine. But I would be disappointing so many people if anything changed. I don't even think I could live the life I want anyways. Curious. This feels like a Persona 5 kind of theme. Are you held prisoner? Do you wish for emancipation? Let's see. None of us asked to be born, and as such, we have no obligation to live a life dictated by others. I don't want to be doing this anymore. Dictated. The Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. Yeah, I'd say they gotta rip off the mask and become a rebellious spirit. What was the term? A trickster. Someone who fights against society. Nope. None of us asked to be born. We have no obligation to live a life dictated by others. I get the sense that maybe you're under pressure from your parents. I don't even think I could live the life I want anyways. Maybe you're under pressure from your parents. How do we help them? Because the thing is, you can't just be like, fight the hand that feeds. Do what you want, because that's not how the world works. You gotta negotiate, you gotta edge things, you gotta set up plans. You're under pressure from your parents. You have to take some steps. You can't complain about the position and do nothing. Yeah, there's certainly that, but there's especially a sense of overwhelmingness, right? Especially if you're a kid. It's not really a feasible answer to give them, unfortunately. Let's see. It's a tough thing to try to control your life when you aren't self-sufficient. Let's see. Really all depends on how old they are. Yeah, now that's what I'm thinking too. Maybe you're under pressure from your parents. It's a tough thing to try to control your life when you aren't self-sufficient. If they're a kid, their life is still pretty undefined and open to other paths. If this guy is an adult, maybe they should take a sabbatical to do some soul searching. See, that's the thing, Lemon Thunder. I don't think it's an issue of them not knowing. I think they really feel like they don't have the freedom to change things. They feel trapped, right? Like there's very specific phrasing going on here. They're afraid they would be disappointing people if something deviated from whatever path they're on. It's a tough thing to try to control your life when you aren't self-sufficient. That said, don't take the moral burden of wanting to change on yourself. If you're afraid to change because it would disappoint people, that's on them for not should weigh heavier than some external disapproval in the short term. Yeah, no, I think that's the thing, right? Because there is a certain degree of, even if they can't do anything about it, the thought of them doing it makes them hold themselves back a bit. A little bit you can push without toppling the house of cards. That said, don't take the moral burden of wanting to change on yourself. If you're afraid to change because it would disappoint, that's on them. And you shouldn't have to suffer for that. You shouldn't don't take the moral burden. Be responsible, especially for something thrust upon you. This guy needs Cave Johnson's lemon speech. I don't know that speech, but if it's lemons, I'm guessing something about lemons. Make lemons out of lemonade. Oh my god, we got a thesis. What we got? I've been thinking, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give me lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with lemons. That's right, I forgot about that. Portal 2, great game. I'll make lemon grenades. Fuck these lemons. It is a good message. Let's see. Now imagine that being recited by the voice actors from Tales. Oh, that would be good. She's the same voice actress who did Tales in the movie, right? Wait till you can live without support and then try to make that change. And try to nudge things in your wish. Try to nudge things towards... Fuck, not enough letters. To your wish. That I don't know. Yeah, that would be funny though. I dig that. Tails being like, fuck lemons. I'm gonna burn your fucking house down. Fuck these lemons. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because especially as kids, you never feel more powerless than as a kid, right? You don't have control over your life. Someone dictates what you eat every day, right? Like, isn't that a crazy thing to think about as a full-grown adult? Like, when you were a child, you weren't allowed to choose what you ate for dinner. You couldn't just go somewhere because you wanted to go somewhere. You had, like, no control. And depending on the city, right? Like, you can't just go see a movie. It's wild. What do you mean I can't watch TV at 11 o'clock? What are you talking about? Like, I think it's easy to forget that as a proper adult, we had so many damn restrictions as a child. And so how can we not feel like we have no control over things when we're that young, right? We don't know how to say screw you, lemons. If our parents were like, you're eating lemons for dinner, we're eating that shit. If you're cool with links, I found the YouTube video of Tails rant. Yeah, you know, why not? As long as there's no music behind it, I think we're good. No DMCA shit, right? I don't know if I blocked... Did I block links? Yeah, I blocked links. Ooh. Let me see. Give me a title, I'll search it. Tails Lemon Rant. Tails doesn't want your lemons. Okay, give me a second. How do I... No, I don't want... We're not there yet. We're not at that segment of the show yet. We gotta mute this for a second. Tails doesn't want your... Oh boy, we're a React streamer now, boys.
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad. I don't want your damn lemons. What the hell am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day it thought it could give Miles Tails Prower lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the one who's gonna burn your house down. With the lemons. I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
Holy shit. Is Tails like some kind of edgelord in the cartoon? Why is he always piloting like fucking planes with guns? No, it's okay, Pilgrim. We got there one way or another. I know my channel is pretty like mod light, so I don't have many expectations. At some point, I'm gonna have to learn how to properly ban a person. Until then, you know, we'll keep it at the comfortable 5-viewer stream. Oh wait, no, I don't want to write it. No. We're looking at the inbox. Alright. So ending the stream as usual on a personal request. Interesting situation this weekend. I actually went on a date. And like for the first... Well, not for the first time, but I definitely had like an epiphany because recently I discovered Jaden Animations and because of her video on aromantic asexual sexuality, which showed up like almost a week, I think, after we dealt with that one request about that person dealing with being aro ace and like just us discovering what that meant for the first time. Good video, yeah, no, Patalamus, it was an excellent video. And it was just sort of like, I just had that moment because I was in the bar, I was just talking to the girl, and I'm just like, damn. Like, I don't feel shit. And like, for the longest time, and it's not just this girl, and nothing wrong with this girl, but it's just like, on the last bunch of dates I've gone in the last few years, like, it's kind of the way it's felt every time I've gone in, and I'm just like, what's the difference between having aromantic encounters or just being aromantic, right? Like, did I at some point just like not get infatuated with people? Because I know, like, historically, I have been like really into people, and not just, not just in like a that girl's hot kind of way. So it's interesting that, like, I don't know, over the last bunch of years, I've sort of experienced a lack of that, and I'm like, did I make a mental shift and just not notice this? So it's what I threw out in the world today, and I'm a bit curious about it. We'll see, though. I only got 2 letters, so maybe people can't conceptualize the idea. Let's see. I think it doesn't matter. You feel the way you feel, and trying to fit yourself into a certain framework is just going to cause more harm than good. If you like someone, then you like somebody. If you don't feel like having a relationship with somebody, don't. If you like the idea, do. It could be worth doing some exploring, but if you don't feel like it, then that's fine too. I think the labels can be helpful sometimes, but they really don't matter. Be you and just do what makes you happy. It's actually a very simple, that's actually a very good response, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, why did I feel the need to attach labels this time? Right? You could just not be attracted to anyone for a while, and that's fine. And when you are, but why pigeonhole yourself? It's funny that I'm being told this, because I've got a huge vendetta against the Myers-Briggs, and how everyone seems to feel the need to like identify themselves by that classification. And I'm like, why limit yourself to 4 letters? This is what they call catching yourself in hypocrisy. Deeper understanding is great, but I guess they're right that putting a name on something doesn't inherently change it. Yeah, no, labels are a silly thing to live by for sure. Because it's really hard to know if you're aromantic. Yeah. I mean, I guess it's sort of like, I don't know why all of a sudden I thought I needed to consider labels for myself. Especially because I hate the concept of labels. Let's see. I don't identify as aromantic, but I think it's pretty common to go on some dates and feel nothing, and at other times feel crushes. That's why dating is such a pain, because even for those of us who are attracted to others romantically, it's not universal. That said, if you've been going on a lot of dates and feeling like you're striking out on all of them, it might be time to take a break or try something different just to mix it up. Yeah, I mean, I don't consider it failure per se, but it's like, even with all the textbook things matching up, right? You would think you would feel at least a little something. I don't know. I think there are definitely certain instances of people being like, am I broken? I don't feel anything. Does that make me wrong in some sense? I don't know, maybe I was a little too... I don't know, Jaden Animations has good messages. And so maybe I was just hung up a little on that, but yeah. One of these days I'd like to do that kind of story time myself, but sometime in the future maybe, we'll see. But that's it for tonight's stream. Thank you guys for coming as usual. Lemon Thunder, Ptolemy, Cat Cake, Pilgrim. I'm gonna try... We'll probably have a fighting game stream on the weekend. I might do another Kind Words later this week, we'll see. I don't know, I've been pretty tired at work. Like, I'm not sleeping super well, so... I don't know, hopefully I'll get my rhythm back. We'll see how it goes. The label's not what matters. Knowing that others feel the way you do and have answers to your questions can help. Yeah. And I'm hoping that's kind of something that we can impart on this stream as well. Just the idea of like having these conversations, talking about past experiences, sharing these kinds of things. I don't know. I hope some of it rings to other people, and I hope that, you know, we all feel a little less lonely as a result of this. But yeah, that's it for the night. See you guys next time. Have an excellent rest of your Easter Sunday and the rest of your week. Talk to you guys later.
Impossible! How could I fall to this drudgery of fire?